Hey guys, Malibu Sky here, and I'm just going to do a little unscripted, just kind of talking to you video about whether fursuits are worth it. This is kind of brought about by a video that I saw. It was a young man that was talking about how fursuits aren't worth it and how you should never buy a fursuit. And as you can probably imagine, or if you've seen it, that it has a ton of dislikes. Like, way outweighs the likes. And I can see why. Fursuits are a huge thing in this fandom. I won't say everyone, but a lot of people love them. They're one of the most unique things about this fandom, and one of the most recognizable things about this fandom. And they're pretty cool. And we don't like to hear people talk bad about them. But I do want to bring up that guy has some legitimate points. And I kind of want to put my own take on it as someone who has invested, well, at this point, over $4,000 into fursuits with the two that I've bought, which is Malibu, the full Digigrade suit, and then my partial, who I recently finished paying off, who's coming this fall. So, yeah, here is my take on that. Are fursuits worth it? This may sound like a cop-out answer, but honestly, it just depends. It really depends on your financial situation, your living situation, and basically your life. Now, first of all, can I say it's worth it for me? Yes. So that's because I have a very healthy financial situation. I've got a full-time job and a bunch of part-time, like, seasonal positions. I had a big savings account before I bought this suit, and I have a good living situation in the room, and, transportation to go to cons. It was just, it was a good, worth it thing for me. And for me, it's brought me a lot of joy. It's brought me closer to this fandom than any other fandom that I've been in my entire life. So it got me into a whole new community, it's gotten me out of my shell, it's gotten me into dancing, which I never thought I could do. It's done a lot of really good things for me, and also it's just a thing where every time I get to, especially when I fully suit up, I just feel so much joy from it. And for someone that does work a lot and has had issues with depression, not really right in the past couple of years, I've been good, but just, someone who hasn't always had the most joyful life. It is something that really always makes me happy doing it. And I love that. And I love that I get to upload multiple videos a week here on YouTube, because it does get me to suit up, and I love it. But it's not going to be that way for everyone. So, to make a fursuit worth it for you, you have to make sure that you're financially able to get a fursuit. And I'm sure you guys have all heard this time and time again, but really, it is true. You're not going to feel good about yourself or the suit if you get it and you put off paying for other important things. Things like food, living situations, school, transportation, cars, that kind of thing. That stuff, the stuff you need, needs to come first, because it's a luxury item, a very intense luxury item, something you don't need, you want, but you don't need. And things are going to get bad if you start paying for what you don't need or what you want. So as long as you put that first and really be sure of it, and really be sure of your purchase before you make it. Be sure this is something you're really going to like. If you can, try on someone's head, suit head or whole suit before you get one, especially if you had issues with claustrophobia. I didn't get the chance to buy one, or to try on one before I bought one. But I knew just from scuba diving in caves and from wearing equipment that kind of would feel suffocating to someone with claustrophobia, I knew that I probably wouldn't feel that way, but it was still a risky decision buying a full fursuit and not knowing if I could handle it. Also, you should, if you're somebody that really can't deal with heat, then you definitely shouldn't buy a suit, at least a full suit. You can probably go with a partial. That's the other kind of decisions you make. Do I go with a partial? Do I go with a full suit? What maker do I use? You gotta put some research, some time, some thought into this before you actually just dive right into it. And that's gonna make it worth it for you. Make sure it's something you really care about, make sure it's something you really love, and make sure it's something you're able to do. And then overall, I think a suit is going to be worth it for you. Because really, it is a magical thing to be able to transform into this giant walking animal for a little while, despite the heat, despite the cost, despite all of that. If it's something you're passionate about, I think it's worth it. So that's just my stupid bird opinion. Feel free to leave your own what you think in the comments. and I'd be happy to have a discussion with you. Alright, bye guys!